Hello guys, TKG is here for your comfortable LostArk life. In this video, I'd like to cover one of his class engraving of the Scrapper. As the video in my channel has some old introduction and editing, so I thought it'd be great to remake it like the recent cover videos. Now follow me, I'll show you what you need. Before I start this video, one thing you need to know is that this video is based and made on KR region. In other words, some of the skills and build might be a little different with the preference of the global, as the update progression on KR region are quite ahead than the global, so some of the skill composition build might be a little bit different with the global. Also, as the LostArk always try to fix the balance in the future balance patches, so some of the skills can be slightly different on the future. So watch this video with those considerations and use this video as your reference to your LostArk journey. Let's start with the most basic of this video. Class engraving I'm going to cover in this video is 충격 단련, also known as shock training. Currently, Scrapper's identity is separated in two parts, one that using the yellow meters called stamina and the green identity meter called shock. As I mentioned in the previous video, both identity meter is quite closely related on the skill usage. But for more clear explanations, yellow meter, stamina skills mostly used by the taijutsu scrappers, green identity meter usually used on the shock training scrappers. So our scrappers on this video will going to use the shock, green identity skills on the skill circulations. When the identity is active, it will renew the movement skill cooldown. During the activation, movement skill cooldown will be reduced to half, increase the stagger 20%. Additionally, for the ultimate skill taijutsu, it will give you the push immune. For the shock training, it will decrease the identity uptime, but increase the attack speed 20%. As you might already and roughly know about the shock training engraving does have some variation from the balance patches, or more like rework on October and the additional balance patches that was live on December. But as usual, I can show all of the variation on this one video, so I'll show you the most representative build on the KL region right now. Actually, come to think of it, build of the shock training was quite formalized on the stat build, due to a big efficiency or more like high dependencies from the specialization stat. But after the nerf of the specialization co-efficiency, you can still have a nice efficient with the combination with the critical accessories. Like you can have a mixture on the one part of the ring or the one part of the earring. Formalized build of the shock training can be summarized by this text box: full specialization with critical stat. For those who crave more the critical stat, I suggest you to have a more than 16-20 specializations. Well, actually there's not many things to comment about the combat style build of the shock training, so more like you can build it with your preference. Because actually there's not many differences whether you use more at critical or just full specializations. Engraving build of the shock training can be like this, using the Grudge, shock training, and Bushmaster as your foundations. For those who need some small comment about that three engravings, Grudge is efficient engraving for the damage dealing class, which guarantee about 20% in any condition. Bushmaster engraving is a mandatory because shock training scrapper is one of those entropy back attack class, so there's no argue with the Bushmaster engravings. Shock training engraving is for the stable and high damage performance. And some of the guys was asked about, what about level 1 engraving? Well, actually I can't exactly say that experience for the level 1 class engraving, but mostly I think it is not that recommended, because it is like giving up something that you actually can do. And after that, you can choose it from the Kimblon weapon, crystal, adrenals for your shock training build. Personally, if you are confused about which one you have to choose it between the Kimblon weapon and the crystal, I do recommend to using the Kimblon weapon on your shock training scrapper. Based and speaking from the KR region, not only the accessories was quite relatively cheaper than the crystal setting, but also it has no crystal penalty. If you decide to use a level 3 adrenals, crystal efficiency comes about 15%. So let's say if you are attacking from the back attack 70% on every raid, Kimblon weapon and the crystal efficiency are almost same. So you can choose it with your preference. Well, I did a lot of comment about the engraving build, but actually the engraving build are quite preference. More like you need to choose it that fits your circumstances, like the setting of the elixir and the bracelet. So try to choose the best option that suits well to your preference and circumstances. Best advantage of the shock training is that, well, for Korean expressions, 영수증, receipt is everything for the shock training scrapper. Most of all, if you are planning to raise your shock scrapper to the endgame, plus if you got experience on your scrapper, you might find the best performance during the gameplay. Actually, the damage performance is everything for the shock scrapper. skill circulation is quite unstable, bad control experience. For the first players, actually, I suggest you to think again for your LostArk life. And gotta be honest, shock training skill build more like the skill circulation is still going on research. So actually, I had a really hard time to finding something that useful for the build right now. So for now, there is not many things to concern for your shock training scrapper, as the skill circulation of the shock training are quite unstable. So if you have a high level of wealth and quick recharge runes might be great for your skill circulations. Core mechanic of the shock training is identity and go. Mechanism of the shock training scrapper are a little bit similar like sorcerers. Getting identity meters and pouring everything is quite everything for the shock scrapper. But personally, the identity was quite unreasonable for the actual gameplay. Composition of the skill can be summarized like this text box. As you can see on this image, 2 stamina skill and 6 shock green skill. Stamina skill charging blow are used as the movement and positioning skill. For the slow and heavy control shock scrapper, getting close to the boss is quite essential for the shock scrapper, so the charging blow is quite recommended to use. Dragon Advent can be an option for the variations, but it has a 3 times more cooldown than the charging blow, so I suggest you to use the charging blow on your composition. Roundel Sweep is must skill you need to take with, because of the quick recharge and the quick prep tripod, which renew the skill cooldown. And I think role of the Roundel Sweep is really crucial. Actually, I think the Roundel Sweep is everything for aligning the skill circulations. So you need to pray for the quick recharge and the quick prep for your skill circulation every time. Judgment is a synergy and the only synergy skill that has a push immune. So I think it is mostly used by the shock training players right now. And the Death Rattle, Supernova, Shredding Strike, Potent Rising Strike, and a new skill called Pungshingyok, Fist of the Wind God as main DPS skills. Skill build can be summarized like this text box. Green, shock skill needs some leveling. I mean you need to master all of the green skills, so you need some skill points for the full performance. And of course you need all annihilation and cooldown gem for the green skills. So actually you'll cost little more for the best skill circulations. And as I keep mentioned, skill circulation are quite unstable right now, so please consider those factors. I'll try to leave a comment if there's a better skill circulation and build formalized with better cycle. Awakening skill is a mysterious art blessed of ruinations. Undefeated Dragon King might be great to use on immediate skill supply, but it has about 25% less damage than the Blast. So for now, Blast of Ruination is recommended to use. As I keep mentioning on the videos, damage is everything for the shock training scrapper. Yep, damage is everything. If you are used to the heavy, and I'll say if you are ready to endure the discomfort on the control and skill circulation and identity, this class engraving might be just for you. The skill which have a 2% 강화 tripod like Fist of Wind God and the Shredding Strike must be used during the identity circulations, but the others are okay to use it on the normal stance. It'll be great to use the 4 main skills during the identity, but sometimes it is impossible to do that on short period of time, so you don't have to be so obsessed just like I gotta do full combos. So try to be flexible to your skill circulations. Besides, it is just a 20% attack speed buff. Skill combo right now, well, it is quite reference. And as I said on first, Roundel Sweep will decide the next move of your scrapper. Maybe it can be more like most of the skill cooldown and circulation identity are quite depending on the quick prep and the quick recharge of the Roundel Sweep. And I think the identity of the shock scrapper is quite sarcastic to manage. Of course, it is a great potential of the damage if it did the full circulations. Personally, I think something's not right. But as this is a guide video, I'll show the most common skill combo in this video. And as I said, the combo of this video is really a reference, more like it is a prototype. So I'll leave a comment when the best skill combo comes out. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone. And always, thanks for your big support. Hope this video was a little help for your LostArk journey. Hope you do well with your scrapper with this video. And of course, if you like my videos, hit the sub for more upcoming infos. I'll come back with more useful infos in the next video.